Hi there, thank you so much for being interested in my work. In this video I share with you my techniques and tips on how I created this candle study. I'll start off with the outline, the underdrawing, rich colour stage and the detail stage. Be sure to watch it right through till the end because here and there I'll be slowing things down in real time so you can take a closer look. So let's dive in and take a look. For the outline I'm using a quarter grid, a 708 Carbothello dark grey pencil, holding it very lightly, right at quite a distance away from the point so it keeps it nice and loose, and just concentrating and focusing on really the shapes and not trying to name things. Just see one shape against another and bring the reference image into your heart. So you're actually drawing it from inside there rather than coming out of yourself. And another tip really is to keep that reference image small enough so you can see the whole thing. So therefore then you don't get a distorted view, because you have your reference image too big, you sort of get distorted and you don't fit things on the page. So I'll start off lightly and then firm it up then. So you've got to keep your pencil quite nice and sharp, and then just using that Faber-Castell kneadable razor as well, just to shape the areas. Use your pencil on a horizontal and a vertical plane to find where these little shapes are, and then just really go with the flow of it, and then just enjoy the freedom of just going with the flow. Here's a selection of pencils for the underdrawing. These are Carbothello pencils and the Conti Paris pencils. First thing to do then is just to ghost the outline with the Faber-Castell kneadable razor. Starting off with the flame then, just using white first, then lemon yellow and burnt sienna, which creates a gold, and then I'm using the white with different pressures, more pressure where it's highlighter, less pressure where it's mid-tone, and then just glazing over with the burnt sienna and lemon yellow on that area. Using a Payne's Grey, which is 770 pencil for the background to start with, and just basically just really enjoying the freedom of just being very loose with it, and then just changing up the outline, so just changing the shapes, getting it more accurate, and just getting a basic form in there, just light and shade. So I'm not interested in getting the value right, the chroma, the temperature, or the edges. All it is just focusing on getting things in the right shape, in the right place, and also just playing with the colours and having an idea what might be needed as well. So just playing with it and just enjoying the freedom of it. Now I'm running through this underdrawing quite quickly because I want to spend most of the time with the rich colour stage. Now I lost a bit of footage there, so all those circles there, all I did was put burnt sienna and lemon yellow, and I used a grey for the other little bits and bobs in the background there. So I'm using 708 grey here, which I use for the outline, just to map it out. It's always good to use really grey, gets you out of a lot of problems. You can draw it up with grey, then just glaze over with colour. So here I'm planning it all out, just using it grey and white again, just keeping it very basic, and then you can just glaze over the top of that grey with colour again. So it's the easiest way of doing it, keeping things nice and simple, not getting too involved with all those different subtleties of shades and colours. All that will be sorted out later on in the video. Here's the colours for the rich colour stage: Carbothello greens, now the greys I'll be using, and the warmer colours, the Carbothello, Conti Paris pencils, and the Caran d'Ache pencils. With the rich colour stage I tend to block things in first before I put the details in. These little circles, what I did with it, it's experimenting really. You've got to try these things out and see what happens. But what I used was a Caran d'Ache 042 flesh tint colour, and then put the lemon yellow and burnt sienna over there, and then just tinting it with a bit of white. Now the Caran d'Ache, putting that first as well, it really is rich in vibrancy, and you don't have to press on, so you're not filling in the tooth of the paper too much. So you only need a light pressure with the Caran d'Ache and it fills up with a nice, rich, vibrant colour, and then just glaze over with that burnt sienna again. With the greys here, I'm just using different greys and going over it with the Payne's grey. You've got to keep experimenting and trying different things, but a brown in there as well, and burnt sienna to just create a warm feeling to it. So you're just enjoying playing, moving things around, and it's just a blocking, just an idea. And then once I'm happy with the overall colour, I'll start putting the details in, which you'll see me doing later on in this video. Now for the flame part here, I'm using the Faber-Castell white. It's really vibrant white, putting that in first, and then just going over them burnt sienna and lemon yellow, which creates nice golds. So you just got to keep adding the pigment until it starts to feel right. Just got to persevere, but just make sure that the tip of the pencils are clean as well, because if you've used those in the background, you don't want to be putting any sort of browns and things in there. So always make sure your tips of your pencils are clean. And then just working this burnt sienna and lemon yellow. It's a perfect combination for gold colour, and just keep playing with it until it starts to shape up. If you're enjoying this video, why not subscribe? It's absolutely free, and then you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Just got to add these layers, so I'm putting the brown in now, and then just building it up, the density and the darkness of it, and just keep changing it up. So adding brown, black in places as well, burnt sienna, changing it up, just getting that feel like it's atmospheric and this space around the candle. So but the glow from the candle will be put in later on in this video, so I'm just blocking in, like I say, just getting all these sort of shapes correct, and the feeling of the basic sort of atmosphere of it. Now for the pine needles, I'm just shaping it all up again, just going over that grey and white I put in earlier, and then just glaze over with a bit of green, using the Caran d'Ache dark green there as well, then in between with the Payne's grey, and then going over with brown again and green. Now it's just your interpretation, so it's a suggestion here and a suggestion there. Just as long as it feels like pine needles, that's the main thing. And then just keep glazing over. So you're putting your white down first, then you're glazing over with the lemon yellow and burnt sienna, and that will light will shine through those colours then and make it glint a little bit. So that's how I create chroma, by putting the white down first. If you're enjoying this video, why not give it a like and share it with your friends? It would mean so much to me, as this would help the channel to grow. Now for the candle, I'm using like a blue-grey there, light blue-grey colour to start with, and just again glazing over with the burnt sienna and lemon yellow. So the same sort of thing, just to create that gold, but you're using your greys first to get some sort of idea of value, and then I'm using burnt sienna and olive green, which creates natural shadows, it's like a greeny reddy colour there, of a shadowy feel to it. It's getting the elements to feel right as well. So this candle, it's waxy, and you know when you pick up one of these candles, it's very cold. So I imagine that and be aware of that, and try and feel that and put that through my work. So I'm trying to create textures, so I'm being aware of how it feels, and sort of letting it flow from me by keeping in your heart. Everything comes from your heart. All the power you'll ever need, all the relaxation, all the sort of inspiration, insights, all comes from the heart. Best to keep out of your mind, because that will slow you down and cause tension. Just like to take this opportunity to thank all my patrons for their wonderful support. I really appreciate it, can't thank you enough. This actual video is on my Patreon now, all in real time, audio, real time video, so you see all the footage. So if this interests you, please check out the link in the description below this video for more details. Now it's always difficult to find the exact pencil you need, the colour that is. So I always pick up a pencil that's a similar sort of value and play with that, and then just glaze over then with the primary colours, which creates that subtlety then of colour harmonies. Now for the bauble, these are where the Caran d'Ache pencils come into their own really, because they're really rich in vibrancy. And like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to press on a lot to get the pigment, so you don't fill in the tooth, so you can get that subtle detail over the top of it. So I'm putting cold and warm red in there with the Caran d'Ache pencils. And then to create the shadow of the red, I'm using dark green, which is the complementary colour. So any shadow you want to achieve, just add its complementary colour, and sometimes a bit of black or brown just to get the density, but that sort of really does the trick. It creates more of a natural shadow to that colour then. If you would like to know more about shadows and how I use complementary colours to create them, I've got a free class for you. The link is in the description below, so be sure to check that out after you've watched the video. Just running through again quickly here, there's not much really to mention, but just using the brown, burnt sienna, and again feeling the texture of what wood is, the bark of the wood, and try and feel that. And the more you can sort of be aware of these things, the more it sort of flows through you then and shows that effect in the work. Now I use dark green again with the burnt sienna here to create a natural shadow for the wood, and just generally blocking it in, and then again later on I'll put bits of detail in there. So I just want to make sure the colours are correct before I start adding detail to it. Just slowing it down here, just showing how I glaze over there with the blue. So you just light glaze, very dusty pigment going over the white, and then just smooth it over with a finger, and then just go over that then with the Faber-Castell white, varying the pressure and direction of the pencil. So you're creating that sort of feeling of snow. This is fake snow, but you're getting that sort of feeling of fluffiness, and then using different greys to create the similar sort of thing, and then just keep glazing over and then doing the same thing. Now for the berries, I'm using a cold red for starters, just little circles, just going over what you've done on the underdrawing, just reshaping the areas, getting a feel for the balance of the berries, and then go around that then with dark green. So you're blocking in with this rich colour, get some pigment down in there so you can move it around then. It's called push and pull, using the olive green and dark green just to get a basic shape, very loose, very sort of suggestive really. I'm trying to keep it a bit more sort of painterly. It's not exactly as you see in the reference image, but it's my interpretation. I go for how it feels now rather than trying to get everything exactly the same as the reference. Just slowing down to real time now, just showing you how I'm shaping up those berries, just using the dark green, so reshaping things, and also the black to give it depth, a bit more shadow. Sometimes you have to use black with pastels to get the depth, and using different reds, cold and warm red, and just generally playing with them really, just to get the shape right, just enjoy the freedom of just moving things around. And then with the highlights, I'm just using a really pink from the Caran d'Ache range, and then a little bit of highlight and then glaze over top of that to create more of a glint to it, but just make sure those pencil tips are clean. And again, it's just my interpretation, so I'm just going with the flow of it, and just keep an overall view of the actual subject you're doing. And if it feels right, just leave it. Just it's your interpretation. Just be suggestive and enjoy the freedom of not having to be controlled by getting every detail exactly the same. It's so much freedom just doing it this way. To step back a lot, keep looking at the actual work you're doing and just seeing if it's balancing up all right and how it feels. So you can look in the mirror, see what the reflection is like, and generally just get the overall atmosphere right. But putting those details in here and there, adding that white, then glazing the colours over the top, and using light greens as well, play about with different greens, see what works. It's just a case of experimenting really, and playing, and see it as fun rather than hard work. And then it becomes play then. It becomes more enjoyable and less tension. Right, just real time again here, just showing you how I'm experimenting with different colours. It's a similar colour to what I'm looking for, I found in my kit. So I put that in, then used 110, which is like grey white, which is naturally desaturates things, which is a really nice pencil to use. And cotton bud, just dabbing it, don't go too hard with that, or take the pigment off. Sometimes areas are cooler and warmer, so you have to play about with blues. Getting the sharpness of the edges as well, just making sure everything's sharp in places where it needs to be. A bit more glow here, just adding a little bit of lemon yellow. So just generally getting them colour harmonies more like what you're looking for, and also going with the direction of the wax as well, because you can see in the candle it's going on a straight line, so that's how I'm applying the actual pigment. Is just keeping the same sort of texture, the straight lines, to create that waxy candle feel to it. And it's just enjoy the play and just keep stepping back, having a look at it. Little rub of your finger sometimes does the trick, and you just got to watch those edges, really. Just got to make them nice and smooth. Final details then, it's overall details. So what I'll do is step back, have a look at it, sometimes take the drawing into another room, see how it feels, but just keep playing with it and getting the overall balance. So it's got to feel as though the candle is there and there's fresh air around it. That's what I try to achieve now. That's my aspiration, is to make things look energetically realistic rather than trying to put every detail in. So it's all about how it feels, the atmosphere, and just being loose seems to create that, and that's why I've gone more loose as I've got older, and just enjoy the freedom of not having to put all those details exactly the same, which is very time consuming indeed. Thank you so much for watching the video right till the end. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It would mean so much to me, as this would help the channel to grow. Fascinating one to do, like they all are, but anything that glows really excites me. I really get a feeling of inspiration when I have to do anything glowing. But the waxy feel as well, getting these textures and the feelings, it's all interesting to do. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and a Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for all your support throughout the year. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye for now.